What's up everyone, Willie Apple here, and Apple has released iOS 17 Beta 6 to developers and public beta testers. We're at this point where the betas are smooth enough that Apple is releasing them to public beta testers as soon as they can. And in this video, I'll be showing you what is new inside of Beta 6. If you want to skip over the first couple of parts of this video and get straight to the point, go to that timestamp right there. But I will be going over additional details about iOS 17 Beta 6, and I'll be talking about how the new videos are going to release from now on. Alright, so first things first, we're going to take a look at the calendar. Nothing changed in here. We're just going to talk about school and stuff like that. I am now going back into school on the 16th, as you can see right here. So that means that it will be a lot harder to release the iOS videos on time. The only way was ditch school, somehow bring a tripod into the bathroom. I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to pay attention in school. I will install the betas during lunch though. There will be a time when I can install the betas during lunch, and I'm probably going to use my MacBook around 11 o'clock. I'll be able to install betas and stuff like that at 11 o'clock, which is the time that it comes out for me. This means that the videos will be coming out later, just like this one. And the reason why I had to delay this one is because the beta came out at 2 today, and I had running practice. So I could not make a video like that while running, so kind of hard to do that. And this likely will go through all the way until next year, and next summer I'll be able to do the betas on time again. Now for me, the update came at 700 megabytes. I wasn't able to take a screenshot. I just rushed to start installing it. I forgot to take a screenshot, so I took this screenshot. But it was around 740 megabytes on my iPhone 14 Pro right here. And if we take a look at settings, general, and then about, you'll see that we have a C at the end of the build number. This indicates that Apple has compiled iOS 17 3 times before releasing this version of iOS 17. And then one other thing I like to take a look at is the iPhone storage, and then we're going to scroll all the way down. And iOS 17 is taking up 10 gigabytes here. And lastly, let's do a Geekbench test. Alright, we got a 2641 on the single core and 6822 on the multi-core. This is what we should be getting, if not higher, inside of Beta 7. Next up, we're going to do a graphics test. Alright, so for our metal GPU score, we got a 22082. This is what we should be getting, if not higher, Beta 7. However, we're pretty late in the iOS 17 cycle, and I don't think we're going to get a higher score. The only times we will compare it is if it's significantly lower than previous ones. Now here's the last thing before I show you all the changes. Apple has also released iPadOS 17 Beta 6, watchOS 10 Beta 6, tvOS 17 Beta 6, and HomePod software Beta 6. However, Apple has not released Beta 5, and this is indicating that Apple has delayed it if it does not come out tomorrow, which is very likely that it is not going to come out tomorrow. Very likely that's going to come out next week. So we will see a beta next week for macOS 14 Beta 6. And if you're wondering when macOS 14 will come out, it will likely come out in October, and I would say around the 23rd or 25th. Most likely the 23rd, because we're expecting new Macs to get announced somewhere on the week of the 15th. Alright, now that we got all of that out of the way, what is new inside of Beta 6? So the first thing is inside of Messages. If we were to tap and hold this plus button, nothing has changed inside the menu. But if we were to tap and hold it right here, you're going to notice that all the images are now here. So they come up right away immediately after holding the button. The only thing I hope Apple does about that is make it fade, because I don't really like it how it just pops in like that. Now the next thing is with our phone app. So if I were to call my sister real fast, you're going to see that Apple has adjusted the calls right here. So you're going to see that the end button is now on the bottom center here. So you're going to notice that the button is on the bottom center here instead of it being right here. So Apple has done some flip-flopping here, since I guess a lot of people did not like it here. But personally, I did not mind that change. In fact, I actually prefer it to be right here. But of course, the complainers did prevail. Not saying you're a complainer. Apple has moved it here. Now the next thing is inside our settings. So if we were to scroll down all the way down to display and brightness, you're going to see that Apple has changed these to be iOS 17 wallpapers. And we also got bigger, bolder text right here instead of it being iOS 15 level. This used to be all iOS 15. iOS 16 was non-existent here. And along with that, another bonus change is going down to display zoom. You're going to see that these are now iOS 17 instead of it being iOS 16 right here. The next change is in our screen time settings. So if I were to scroll down to screen distance, you will see that Apple has changed this text up a bit. So they added text right here and it's a lot more detailed now. If we were to go to browse and then go to mental well-being and then log your emotional and moods and then press begin, you're going to notice that Apple has tweaked the animations up here a little bit. So you're going to see that the animations are a lot different now and it just looks a lot nicer here instead of what we had in the previous beta where it just did a different animation. So Apple is constantly tweaking this probably to make it perfect, since this is a feature that Apple really probably wants to promote at the iPhone event. Now imagine if the iPhone 15 only change was additional stuff to this, then that would be bad. Now we got a new splash screen with our Photos app. So I actually was unable to take a screenshot of this. I forgot to take a screenshot, but trust me on this, there is a new splash screen here and it just shows off all the new features inside the Photos app. Alright, so if I were to go to the lock screen real fast, you're going to see that there's a brand new animation here for this. It kind of bounces again, but it looks more intentional now. It doesn't look forced anymore like it did inside of iOS 16. And you see here, it does the same thing inside of here. So that means it's intentional if Apple is doing it right here. Alright, now all of that's out of the way, let's talk about some bugs inside of iOS 17. Alright, so next, if I were to do this, you're going to see we still have the choppy animation right here for the notification center. So it's probably going to be iOS 69 at this point when Apple fixes this. But hopefully Apple fixes this soon because it's starting to get annoying. Another issue is that I have some pretty bad battery exposure for the Maps app. So if we were to take a look right here, you can see that the Maps app used most of it for some reason. And this was because I was navigating, but there's no way we should get that much battery drain for the Maps app. So hopefully Apple will fix this inside of beta 7. Oh, and by the way, it is not a me problem. But other than those two things, one of them being a battery related issue, iOS 17 feels really silky smooth. And I feel like this could be the final release if Apple really wanted to, considering that this issue right here is inside of the latest final release. Well, hopefully Apple fixes this ASAP because I don't like it. Now, what can we expect the final release to be? So if we were to go into our calendar right here, we could scroll down to September. We're expecting an iPhone event to be from the 11th to 15th, most likely on the 12th or 13th, with pre-orders going on the 15th and with the phone releasing on the 22nd, and the phone has to release after iOS 17 releases. So I would bet my money that it will come out on the 18th right here. Now for the next beta, I would say that the next beta is going to be next week on the 22nd. Apple does like these Tuesdays once again. However, there is a chance that it could come on the 21st or the 23rd, but 22nd seems to be most likely as of right now. And I would say macOS will get another beta there too, and macOS is back on a 2-week cycle. Widgets seem to be fine. Now, of course, widgets are going to refresh anytime you reboot your device, so that's an iOS feature, just to make sure that all the widgets are up to date. If you'd like to get notified whenever a new iOS update releases, you could join my Discord server down below, and you will get pinged depending on what platform releases. This is an especially good time if you only receive macOS updates, which I will cover in the next macOS video. But if you only want to get pinged for iOS, you can only get pinged for iOS, iPadOS, if that gets delayed again for some reason. If you only get tvOS updates, or even watch updates, except you need an iPhone, then you can get